what is the next thing we've got here? We've got Coca Cola calls in the police after human waste is found in cans.
That's yummy.
What delicious tidbit do we have here?
Sounds good, doesn't it?
It does. Sounds fantastic. Northern Ireland factory halts production after machine became clogged with feces. Though no contaminated drinks reached the shelves. So a machine on an assembly line becomes clogged with feces?
How does that happen?
How does that happen?
Somebody take a shit on the line? Yuck.
That's pretty disgusting.
So you done drinking Coke forever now?
I don't drink Coke.
That's right. You're not a pop guy at all,
No.
are you?
Nope. Not at all. I don't drink sodas. I don't do all that. So let's see how this all happened here. Coca Cola called the police to investigate how human waste turned up in a consignment of its drink cans at one of the company's factories in Northern Ireland.
Sure.
The police service of Northern Ireland confirmed on Tuesday it had opened an inquiry as to how feces ended up in the cans at the Hellenic, Hellenic, Hellenic bottling company factory in Lisburn, County Antrim.
Where the hell is that?
Antrim, I guess it is. Lisbon, Antrim.
It must be out of this country.
Yeah. Well, this is in Northern Ireland.
Oh, well, then who cares?
Yeah. Coca-Cola suspended nighttime processing last week at the plant when machines became clogged. Clogged. The soft drink giant said it impounded all the affected cans that were contaminated and did not affect any products that were on sale. The cans arrived at the factory without tops to be filled with the fizzy drink before they are sealed and sold across Northern Ireland.
Do you want to be the one to test that theory that they got them all?
No.
What's this? There's something chewy in my Coke.
Ugh.
Ugh.
A PSNI spokesman said detectives are investigating an incident at a commercial premises in the Lisburn area following reports that a consignment of containers delivered to the premises had been contaminated. The investigation is at an early stage and there are no further details available at this time. In a statement, the company told the Belfast Telegraph, Coca-Cola takes the safety and quality of their products extremely serious.
Well, they can't take it that serious if they've got a case of fucking shit ending up in their product.
Yeah.
That would be the opposite of serious.
Yeah.
Jeez.
We are aware of the incident involving the empty cans at our plant in the Knockmore Hill, Lisbon. We are treating this matter extremely seriously and are conducting a thorough investigation in cooperation with the PSNI.
Do you think, I'm trying to envision how this could happen. So you got like a big vat of whatever whatever goes into this pop, you know, whatever the syrup is or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do you think somebody like squatted over this thing and took a dump?
It's hard to tell how that may have happened.
And if it clogged the machines, it's got to be more than one guy, doesn't it? I mean, if you're in a bottling plant, you got to think that the bottling plant is doing like 1,000 bottles at a time or something. No.
Well, so I'm sure it goes pretty quickly.
Okay, so let's say it's 20 bottles at a time, but it goes right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How much shit do you have to clog up 20 fucking things that was shit into a big vat of syrup? And wouldn't you have to get all the way to the bottom? Wouldn't the shit float until it gets all the way to the bottom?
Well, you would think, yeah.
So how does it get sucked into this? I have a lot of questions that I need answers to.
Well, there's a reason to question that.
Yeah, I mean, there's something fishy about this story. The shit would stay on top. And even though they didn't find shit until it clogged up, who's to say that there weren't shit flecks that got sucked in that kind of wore themselves off from floating around on the top?
Well, I don't think we need to worry because I don't think any of those cans of Coke are going to get here to the States.
Yeah, but what about Tom the Scot? No, that's Scotland. It's Ireland, right?
This is Ireland.
We have Irish Richard.
True.
Irish Richard might be drinking some shit Coke.
Yeah. Don't drink the Coke over there, Richard. If you're still listening.
Richard, if you're still out there, throw the Coke away.
Exactly.
Get yourself some 7-Up.
A PSNI spokesman said detectives are investigating an incident at a commercial premises in Lisburn area following reports that a consignment of containers delivered to the premises had been contaminated. Well, it looks like it may have been in the Coke cans before it even got to the bottling factory.
So it was done in the canning company.
It was done at the canning company.
Carolina Cookie, call it perfect 7-Up.
Yeah, there you go.
That's good.
We are aware of an incident involving empty cans at our plant at Knockmore. That's where it is.
Oh, it's in the cans.
Yeah, it came from the canning company or the company that makes the cans.
Okay. Whoa.
The problem was identified immediately through our robust quality procedures, and all the product from the affected production was immediately impounded and will not be sold.
Man, how do you take a shit over a fucking, like a stamping thing or something that's going to be stamping aluminum?
I don't know.
I mean, those things, I've seen those kind of machines before. They're not the kind of thing that have like a big old thing. You're like shitting into pipes.
Well, what if the cans were already formed and say we're like on some kind of a pallet rack or something?
Well, they couldn't have been totally formed, could they? Otherwise, you'd have to shit into that little hole.
No. Listen to what I'm saying.
All right.
Is that the cans are already formed and they're like all palleted up.
Okay.
And somebody takes a shit on the pallet, right?
Okay.
And then the cans go on the little assembly line, in single file.
Oh, and it scrapes like the shit into the can?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I guess that could work.
Mm-hmm. So somebody like took a shit like on the pallet of cans, and then each can had a little piece of shit on each can. Once they all came apart and went in single file on the little assembly line or on the little filling line.
Right. Okay. And if the shit got on top of the can,
that's it.
Then the liquid would push it into the can.
There you go.
All right. Now we're talking.
Yeah. So that's kind of how I envision it, that somebody shit on a pallet of cans.
Now we're getting to
and so then it just got all pulled apart and then just got distributed along the little filling line.
We have figuratively and literally gotten to the bottom of this.
It's pretty disgusting, but nevertheless.
Ugh.
Anyway, this is an isolated incident and does not affect any product currently on sale. The Food Standards Agency said none of the cans contaminated with the feces had reached the market in Northern Ireland. It added that the incident is subject to an investigation by the PSNI and the Environmental Health Unit of Lisburn and the City Council.
How'd you like to be the guy at the PSNI that gets tagged to fucking go and investigate the mystery shit?
Yeah, there's shit on these cans. Where did that come from?
These guys probably, most of the people that work there have probably worked there like 45 years. And the shit that they always have to investigate is stuff like, there's like a drop in vitamins in this product, or there's there's some kind of lack of pressure in these cans, or because they're standardized guys, right? That's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
They make sure that the products meet certain standards.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How'd you like to be that guy? Go 35 years working on regular shit, and all of a sudden now you're fucking handed a lump of shit in a can, and it's like, okay, figure out who took this dump so we can fucking bust.
Who took a shit on the cans?
Yeah, see if you can figure out what their diet is so we can narrow it down to Indian or Irishman.
Right.
Ugh. I need to know if there's potatoes in here. Yuck.
Yeah.
What a job. Can you imagine? Would you quit your job if you did like 35 years just testing cans for like pressure or some shit? And all of a sudden your boss came to you and said, Wendell, today we've got a big project for you.
We had a big breakout of feces on the cans.
Yeah. Isn't that when you just say, okay, see you later. All right, I'm out. Goodbye.
Well, I'm walking off the job after 45 years because somebody took a shit on the Coke cans.
My job does not involve human shit in pop cans.
Right.
Sorry, I'm leaving. I mean, would you just do it? Do you think people would just say, okay, yeah, let me get that. Where's the rubber gloves? I'm in. Ugh.
Yeah, it's pretty disgusting.
Everything about this story is horrible.
Yeah. People in general are just animals.
Do you think the guy, like, when this guy, whoever the mad shitter is here, do you think when he saw this story, like, getting national coverage, he's, like, completely happy?
Yeah, he might be one of those. He might be have the same mentality as, like, an arsonist who, sets a fire and then sits back and watches it burn and likes the coverage it gets.
Right.
I shit on a can. Look at all the news. Look at the news cycle that I've created here.
Printed it off of Yahoo News, taped it up on his wall.
Yeah, look at. There's my shit on that can right there.
That's how he gets busted.
Yeah.
Somebody hooks up with him and then fucking sees all these 400 articles on his wall about shitting in pop cans. Turns him in.
Exactly.
This story stinks.
It does, in more ways than one.
Figurative and literal.
Exactly. All right, well, here's a story I was telling you about earlier in the show.
Okay.
AT&T and other U.S. advertisers quit Google and YouTube over extremist videos.
All right.
San Francisco, California, AT&T, Verizon, Johnson & Johnson, and other major U.S. advertisers are pulling hundreds of millions of dollars in business from Google and its video service YouTube, despite the internet's giant pledge this week to keep offensive and extremist material away from their ads.
Oh, so now they're going to be the dictators of what's offensive.
Well, again, there we go with the money.
Yep.
We all know what the money dictates everything.
Mm-hmm.
AT&T said that it is halting all ad suspending on Google except for search ads. That means AT&T ads will not run on YouTube or 2 million websites that take part in Google's ad network. We are deeply concerned that our ads may have appeared alongside YouTube content promoting terrorism and hate.
That's us.
I was going to say that. The company said in an email statement, until Google can ensure that it won't happen again, we are removing our ads from Google's non-search platforms.
All right.
Sanette Chow, who handles, white girl, handles marketing, communications, and branding for Verizon, confirmed that the mobile operator has also pulled its ads.
Oh, boy.
Once we are notified that our ads were appearing on non-sanctioned websites, we took immediate action to suspend this type of placement of our ads and we launched an investigation.
Mm-hmm.
Google declined to comment on the defection of the advertisers. As announced, we began an extensive review of our advertising policies and have made a public commitment to put in place changes that give brands more control over where their ads appear. The internet giant said that in a statement, we are also raising the bar for our ad policies to further safeguard our advertisers' brands.
Okay.
So the decision by major U.S. brands to yank ads, first reported in the Times in the UK, indicates that an advertiser's boycott that began overseas is quickly spreading. Google is attempting to quell a growth of furor by the British government and major brands in the UK and now the US, angered over the placement of online ads alongside offensive or extreme content, such as videos by white supremacists.
Us.
Or the Islamic State.
That's us.
In response, earlier this week, Google said that it would pull online ads from controversial content.
Oh, boy. We're done.
Given brands more control over where their ads appear, and would deploy more people to enforce its ad policies.
How long before we get thrown off the ad network?
Well, I don't know. So far, Google has not done enough to reassure advertisers, says the Pivotal Research Group, who downgraded Google's parent company Alphabet's stock on Monday.
Wow. They took a stock hit over this?
Yeah. He had warned the UK boycott could have global repercussions for Google. More than 250 organizations, including British government, Toyota, McDonald's, have stopped advertising with YouTube in the UK, according to the Times.
Okay.
Wisner says those advertisers' defections are just the first shoe to drop in the United States, and other advertisers will likely follow.
See, this, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but this is so simple to fix. And I get it. I get it. AT&T would not want to be associated with some of our topics.
Of course not.
I get that, and that's fine. But you know what? Couldn't YouTube do like Spreaker does and just make you have to tag your content as either explicit or non-explicit?
I suppose they could.
And then the advertisers could say, "Yeah, put me on explicit only."
Well, but the thing is what if somebody forgets or doesn't?
Well, then they get their account suspended.
Okay, but then
because
somebody actually
with the rules.
Well, then somebody would actually have to physically see that happen and then actually go through the process and do that, right?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, so all they would need is a complaint. You know, just like on you, just like that thing that we were talking about earlier, where Facebook fucking pulled our ad because of the kill thing. When Facebook pulled our post because they don't like the word kill, it's because we technically violated their terms of service.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. Well, if Google's terms of service are that if you use explicit language or explicit content, that you have to mark it or you cannot be in the ad network, then and you don't do it, then you get your account suspended.
Well, I agree.
And that should solve part of AT&T's issue. But you know what the bigger part of this issue is going to be? And they're not even talking about it anywhere in this article, but I'll guarantee you it'll be the bigger problem. The comments. Because our journey conversation that we just had, an hour or two ago, whatever it was,
mm-hmm.
I would say overall that was probably pretty clean. We might use some cuss words here or there, but for the most part, it's a clean topic, right?
I would agree.
So let's say that we had that, and for whatever reason, I didn't swear, because I'm sure you didn't swear. But let's say for some miracle, I didn't swear through that conversation, and we put it up there where it was not tagged as explicit content, but immediately hardcore metal guys like Jackal that will never accept anything from a band like Journey go into our comments and go,
"This fucking sucks, man.
Yeah. Bunch of fucking faggot cunts. Why are you fucking talking about faggot rock? This is as gay as a tranny on a fucking bus ride with a dildo up his ass." If that's the comment, then who's liable for that? And does AT&T still want their logo to flash up when people that are watching that content can also look down and see that vulgar stuff on the page?
Sure.
So YouTube's only real answer is going to be they're going to either have to change how they do business completely, or Yeah, I've always thought that this getting paid for YouTube is stupid anyway. I know people do it, and I know a lot of people would be pissed if they stop doing it, but so what?
Well, the only reason YouTube exists is so that Google, who is now the parent company of YouTube, can make money.
Yeah, of course.
It's not about the people who submit material to Google or to YouTube. It's about YouTube as a entity or a division of Google to make money from that.
Yeah. So just stop paying them royalties, and and make people mark their shit as explicit or not explicit.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's explicit, then you can't. Or just if you mark your shit as explicit, it just can't be on the ad network.
Right.
Why is that a problem?
It wouldn't be, and I'm sure that you'll probably see something similar coming.
Yeah, I would think that's a single checkbox that could be done, instantly. And I know with all the other, I know a little bit about YouTube because obviously I maintain our page, and like you can set it to where it tags everything on. Like I have it set for a bunch of tags that it tags all of our videos automatically. Classic Metal Show, Neely, Chris Aiken, blah blah blah. It puts those tags in automatically.
Mm-hmm.
So if it can put those tags in automatically, which came out of my head, on every video that we do, it could certainly put in a tag automatically that says explicit videos.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could say, then it could just, the way you actually make it so that you could advertise or let advertisers on your videos is you have to go in and click this button that says monetize. And then it takes a second, then it monetizes your video. That's how it works. So, you could just make it that if it's checked with explicit, that it doesn't give you that option to monetize. And then the problem is solved. Anything that's dirty or dark or that people are even not sure of would be off of the ad network, and anybody that violates would get their account suspended.
Sure.
Or shut down or whatever. And that's how it would work.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure you'll see some kind of a filter like that
probably
be developed for this issue.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Google responded to the matter has been insufficient so far, and it's not clear that they'll develop one that is sufficient soon enough to deter others who will pull their ads. That was the case for Johnson & Johnson, which said Wednesday it had decided to pause all YouTube advertising globally to ensure our product advertising does not appear on channels that promote offensive content.
It's us.
That's us.
Mm-hmm.
We will continue to take every measure to ensure our brand advertising is consistent with our brand values. That's easier said than done in the digital age. Brands often don't know where their online ads are running. That's because much of the ad buying in question let's see here. That's because much of the ad buying in question programmatic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ad buying is computerized with machines making the decision as to where it should appear on the internet with very little human oversight.
Right.
That kind of ad buying has gotten ahead of advertising industries. Ahead of the advertising industry's checks and balances. The car rental company also, let's see, says Laura Bryant of the Enterprise Holdings Company. I guess that's Enterprise Rental Car.
Mm-hmm,
the car rental company also pulled its ads from Google and YouTube. So there's some big players there.
Yeah. Well, and I can see it, dude. Like, I'll give you an example from your own company, from the company you work for.
Mm-hmm.
Have you said on the show what it is that you guys sell or not?
No.
Okay. Well, the product that you sell, okay. I do two advertising campaigns for you guys with Google.
Mm-hmm.
One is the search thing, which they said stays the same because that's when people type in widget, whatever,
mm-hmm.
and that comes up.
Sure.
But the other thing that I do with your company is what's known as the display network. And the display network, what that is people can and you've seen it on websites before, where they can put some code on their website, and then based on the content that's on the page, Google will show ads that have words that people that have paid for words that show up on the web page. Okay? Mm-hmm. So if, for example, I'll go away from your company, you did rental cars, okay, and you sold rental cars, and rental car was one of your words, you could have that show up on websites all across the internet.
Sure.
As long as somewhere on the page it says rental cars. Now, that's fine, but like me, I don't control where they go.
Right.
Google controls where they go.
Sure.
And it's all an algorithm, and it's all like bidding and whatnot. That's how that works. The problem would be if ISIS puts out a video or a website that says, this is how you kill the most people. First thing you do is you go to Enterprise Rental Car and rent a car or rent a van. Well, now if they're monetizing and providing these display ads on their page, which they might do because that's what terrorists do, is try to make money where they can to do this kind of shit. Now the Enterprise Rent-A-Car is going to be advertised on this ISIS website.
Right. Enterprise Rent-A-Car, the preferred rental car for terrorists.
For ISIS.
Yeah, exactly.
So I could see where, now if you owned Enterprise Rent-A-Car and your shit turned up on a terror website like that, you'd be fucking pissed. I would be. Can you imagine that if you were paying to be on a network and that's where they put you?
Right.
I could see where they would be pissed, certainly. But at the same time, I think you could go the other way with this too. Like for the Classic Metal Show, wouldn't it be great if we could fucking just somehow tie our show to advertising for all the porn companies out there that want to advertise their shit? Wouldn't that be great? Dude, we would make a fortune.
Mm-hmm.
If we could just get it to where the Google algorithm automatically put dildos and fleshlights and all that shit in the advertising network on our videos. Can you imagine how many clicks we would get through there? People they'd be listening to one of our videos and we'd be talking about Snatch Chat or something, and somebody would be like, oh, look at this, fucking meet a whore tonight. Click. We would get a lot of money, dude. Now
Sure.
me and you could maybe, pay some bills with that kind of money.
Exactly.
I would love that. This could come out in our favor, maybe. Let's hope.
There is no doubt that there are serious flaws that need to be addressed.
Sure.
As a result, we have temporarily halted all YouTube advertising while executives at Google, YouTube, and our own media agencies focus on alleviating these risks and concerns going forward.
They've halted advertising?
Yeah, Enterprise.
Oh, Enterprise. I thought you meant YouTube.
No.
I was going to say, I didn't hear that.
So
Okay.
AT&T, Verizon, Johnson & Johnson, Enterprise Rent-A-Car, McDonald's, a lot of these major corporations are saying, you know what? We don't want to be associated with some of the, lesser accepted content on YouTube. So we're pulling our big bucks right out of there.
I just wonder if they're opening up a real can of worms, though. Because at some point, don't you think they're going to have to go the other way? Don't you think at some point people are going to say, well, wait a minute, I don't want, if I do health videos, I don't want McDonald's on with my health videos.
Well, there's always two sides of the coin, isn't there?
Yeah. I think they're opening, if they're going to let it go for one, it's only going to be a matter of time before fucking, Life and Fitness magazine sues YouTube for putting Burger King ads on their YouTube videos.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think that's got to be a consideration too?
Yeah, that is a consideration.
Wow, it's gonna take them longer. The technology is gonna change before they can figure this out.
Sure.
That's going to be a bit difficult. Interesting.
Yep.